Hey, what's up? Josh here with a quick Premiere Pro tutorial on how to do a smooth zoom in with motion blur. And before we get started, I'm assuming you already have Premiere Pro, but if you don't, you can click the link in the description below to get a free trial. You can even get the entire Adobe Creative Cloud suite of apps. But with that, let's get into it. So maybe you want to just zoom in really fast to accentuate a point you're making in a video, or there's a product you want to zoom into, or you just want to create some more visual interest. You might go to your effect controls, click on your stopwatch for your position and scale, zoom in, reposition, and then you end up with something like this. So what exactly is the problem with this? Well, as you can see, it's a very abrupt start and end to that zoom. And also, if I just stop it right in the middle here, you'll notice there's no motion blur as we're zooming. It's actually kind of stutters just a little bit. It's not terribly pleasing to look at. So we want to make something that's more like this. So you notice that we're easing out and easing in to our keyframes. And if I stop it right in the middle, you can see there's motion blur, and that just makes everything way more pleasing to look at. So how do we create this? So the first thing we want to do is go to our effects, and we are going to search for transform. Under video effects and distort, I'm going to click and drag that onto my clip, and then in our effects controls, I'll scroll down, and we are going to use the position and scale, but the difference here is we're going to go down to shutter angle, and you see here it says use composition shutter angle. We're going to uncheck that. And under shutter angle, I'm going to set this to 250. Now, generally speaking, I like to do anything between 180 degrees and 250 degrees. That's going to give us some nice motion blur. Anything above that, it starts to get a little too much, but play with it, totally your preference. All right, now I'm going to go to where I want to start my zoom. I'm going to click my position and my scale stopwatch. I'm going to move forward to where I want that to end. I'm going to zoom in, reposition the frame. All right, let's play that back. Okay, so you can see that I still have that pretty abrupt start and end, but if I stop it in the middle, you can see there's my motion blur. So that's a good start. Now we need to ease in and out of those keyframes. So to do that, we're going to click and drag over our last two, right-click right on top of those, go to temporal interpolation, and go to ease in. Click that. We're going to do the same thing with the first two keyframes. Click and drag over those, right-click right on top, temporal interpolation, ease out. So anytime we're using keyframes like this, we want to ease out of those initial keyframes and ease in to our final keyframes. So now let's go back and play that. Beautiful. So much better than what we had to start with. All right, so how do we make this easier to use? Well, we're going to create a preset. So first, I'm going to select these keyframes, and I'm actually going to drag them all the way to the beginning of the clip, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Then we're going to right-click on the transform effect, go to Save Preset, and I'm going to name this Zoom In. Hit OK. And then we're going to go over here to our Effects panel, go under Presets, and you can see Zoom In is right there. And I'm going to delete this transform effect off this clip so we can test this out. Now the issue that you run into with a preset like this is that if I click and drag it on here and we scroll down, you can see that it appears at the beginning of my clip, and it's always going to be at the beginning of my clip. And if we had saved this as a preset where it was previously, it would always be a second and 19 frames into the clip or wherever my playhead was when I created that zoom in. So the workaround, if I undo that, is that wherever you want that zoom to be, you're going to make a cut. And then you go to your zoom in effect and put it right on that clip, and there's your zoom in. So here's another problem. That preset is only going to work for, say, this video because it's only zooming in to that very specific part of the screen. So is it really saving you that much time in the long run? Well, not necessarily. So let's undo all of that. So then what do? Well, let me introduce you to this plugin called Drag Zoom Pro. Now this video is not sponsored by them. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, but I discovered this plugin and use it absolutely all the time. It doesn't work in every situation, but it does often save me a ton of time doing these zooms, especially when I have to do zooms for tutorials. Of course, the link will be in the description below. How you use it is you hit this refresh button, and then your transition duration can be managed here. You click and drag. I'm going to hold the space bar to move my selection around. I'm going to position it right about there, right over the head, and just let go of the mouse. And it's going to do exactly what we just did with the transform effect, but automatically for us. So if I go back, you can see it zooms in. And if we go right in the middle of that, you can see there's nice motion blur. And if we want to zoom back out to 100%, there's a button exactly for that. And if we play it back, look at that. Beautiful. So there you go, guys. That's how to create a smooth zoom with motion blur in Premiere Pro. If you enjoyed this tutorial or found it useful, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.